those big, beautiful rainbows. That's what trolling flies can do. You think trolling flies don't work? Well, think again. You need to grab a set of my trolling flies, get out on the water, and get ready to go big. Yes! Howdy guys, Cal Kellogg here. Lucy and I were just wrapping up another cardio workout. We're easing back into things. We've covered about 3.4 miles today. By the time we get back to the truck, we'll be at a solid 3.5, maybe a little bit more. We haven't guided in over a week at this point. It's been all about maintenance recently. And when I get back home, there's going to be more maintenance going on. I'm going to go over a ton of tackle, and I'm going to be sharing a lot of that with you on video. You know, how I'm maintaining my rods. I look at my tackle box. I look at the kayak, all that kind of stuff and more. So let me get cracking here. We'll get back to the vehicle, and we'll do a little maintenance on some gear, charge some batteries, stuff like that. And then the end of this week, it is all about fishing. Wes is going to be out and about in the pontoon boat. I'm going to be out and about in the Pro Angler 14. Haven't decided where I'm headed yet, but Rollins, Sugar Pine, and French Meadows are all on my list. I got to kind of check the weather and wind forecast. We're going to be battling a full moon this week, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we are chomping at the bit to get out, get fishing. We're going to start local, and then we are going to branch out from there. Anyway, I'll catch you back at headquarters, and we'll do some rod and tackle maintenance. Hey guys, I'm back from the walk. Coffee break is over, and I'm ready to get to work. Here behind me on my, kind of out on my little deck where I have my home gym set up, I've got 3 downrigger rods, a couple lead core rods. I'm actually going to rig up a brand new lead core rod in the coming days. I'm going to rig up a spinning rod or 2, and those are going to kind of represent the rods that I'm going to use throughout the next couple months. Several of these rods, they're already rigged, and they were used extensively during the guiding season. Like that lead core rig right there, you can see that foregrip is just black with worm dirt. The reel's all funky, it's all cruddy. And I am not a huge tackle nerd, okay? I buy reliable tackle, reliable reels. I manufacture very, very reliable, very rugged rods because I don't want to spend all my time doing maintenance. For me, these are tools. I'm not gonna worry about getting them absolutely spotless. I want them to be functional. So here's what I've got to clean them with. I'll set this rod aside. I have a 5-gallon bucket here, and I probably have, I don't know, 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons of solution in there. It's just hot water and dish cleaning soap. Dish cleaning soap is great. It's going to break up oil. It's going to break up protein, things like fish slime, worm dirt, human grease from your hands, all that kind of stuff. That detergent's going to break that up. And I have here, and these are super handy, I have here my old reliable toilet brush. If you're a sportsman, you should have a few of these. They are great. I haven't used it in the toilet. They are great for, wiping down ice chests, rods, quarters of deer if you get grass and little pieces of hair on them. They just have 1,000,001 uses. It's brush all the way around, has a nice long handle on that. Get some leverage, you can scrub, you can really get stuff pretty clean with that. So that's what my cleaning solution consists of. Now, once the rods and reels are clean, I'm not going to take the reels off the rods. I'm going to clean everything in place. I'm going to lean them back up against the rail there. I'm going to spray them down with the hose, just mist them, get all the soap solution off, and then it's a nice warm day here. I'm going to let them air dry, and once they're dry, again, nothing fancy. Got a roll of paper towels here and some WD-40. I'm going to take a couple paper towels, lightly, not dripping oil, put a little bit of oil on a paper towel, and I'm going to use that just to wipe down the outer parts of the reel, take off any remaining crud, and kind of give the reels a coating of protection. Once they're dry, wiped down, and ready to rock, then I need to evaluate the most important part, or certainly one of the very most important parts of any rod and reel combo, and that is the line. The downrigger rods are absolutely getting new line. The lead core rods are absolutely getting a new top shot, and I need to evaluate that lead core. I don't know what state it's in at this point. I did respool the lead core during the guiding season. What's going on, kitty? I did respool the lead core during the guiding season, so I'm gonna pull it off. I'm gonna look it over. I'm looking for twists, you know, abrasions, stuff like that. But if it's in decent shape, I'm gonna run with it. Lead core is a little tough to, you know, come by these days. I do have a couple spools here. We have more spools on the way, but there's no sense in wasting good lead core if it's functional. I'm gonna go ahead and use it because, you know, inevitably it's gonna get messed up when I'm out and about, and I'm gonna be out and about a lot filming. So let me get started. I'm gonna scrub these down, rinse them off, wipe them off, and then I'm gonna put some new line on my rods. So when it comes to cleaning these, I'm just gonna scrub them down and get that soap solution on there. I'm gonna hit the eyes. I'm not, you know, doing anything crazy. I don't want to create damage while I'm trying to clean the rods up. And you know, I'll take all this end tackle and stuff off here, but I don't want the line to go back through the guides. I'm trying to work fairly quickly here, so just get it into each guide. And you know, the place I'm really worried about is the handle here. Let me get a little more solution on there. I'm just gonna scrub that handle pretty vigorously. I'm trying not to get it on the camera here, but the handle, the area where the hook goes, the reel seat like so, the outside of the reel, across the top, underneath, all the places where kind of crud can accumulate on a reel, the handles, and of course the front area here where the level wind mechanism is. And the nice thing about the toilet brush is it's not so stiff that you're going to damage things like the level wind and stuff like that. But I can see that it's lifting the crud off there. And finally here, right when I'm done, I'm going to dip this one more time. I'm going to hit that drag side of the reel real good. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to get the lower part of the grip, get it nice and soaped up. Under there, I can see a dry spot under there. Just kind of, you know, visually inspect what you're doing. That grip is already, you can see that grip. That grip is already looking better. So we'll put a little more time in scrubbing that worm dirt off that grip there. And it doesn't hurt anything, but it sure isn't very attractive. You can see I haven't gotten that side very well. So a little more water and soap solution. Scrub that in there. Try to get as much of that worm dirt off there as possible. That's coming off real nice. And when I'm done with this one, I'm going to set it aside, lean it back up. I'm going to hit another one, so on, right down the line. When I got them all done, then I'm going to rinse them off. Then I'm going to let them dry. Okay, the rods are all scrubbed down, and they already look a whole lot better. Particularly the ones we were fishing a lot of worms with, because they were really funky in the grip. They were pretty gross. They had a lot of blood on them. They had a lot of worm dirt on them. Just a lot of goo and yucky stuff in general. Got the hose fired up here. Just gonna rinse them down, and as I said, I'm gonna let them, you know, dry out. So, and you know, you just want to do it light, you know, something like that. You don't want to get all crazy. You don't want to force water into the reel or anything like that. So I'm just going to take a light approach. I'm going to thoroughly rinse them down, let them dry off, and then we'll wipe them down with the WD-40, a paper towel, and we'll get started spooling up, putting some nice fresh line on those reels. I'll be back at you. Hey guys, I'm back. As I told you I was going to do, I let the rods kind of air dry. It's a couple hours later. I've wiped the reels down with that, you know, WD-40 on a paper towel. I got the last little bits of grime and goo off of them. I've checked the line. For example, this is a rod I'm going to be running, you know, on my next fishing trip. It's one of my downrigger rods. Just spooled it up with brand new fresh P-Line CXX moss green color, 10-pound test. This is going to be used for top lining and downrigger fishing. This is going to be my other go-to rod this week. I'm running a pretty light, you know, light spread of rods because I'm going to stay local. I checked the weather forecast. I'm not going to head up to French Meadows. I got two things against me up there. I got a full moon and I got some really strong wind up to about 22 miles an hour. So I don't want to burn my gas going up there for kind of a substandard trip. So I'll hold that on the back burner for a week or so. But I am going to hit Rollins and Sugar Pine this week. So I'm going to be running a light spread of rods, kind of a shakedown week for me. I'm going to be fishing very seriously, but these are local lakes for me. me, and I'm just looking forward to getting out in my kayak, getting on the water, and kind of getting things dialed in. I haven't kayaked in a while. I spent the last 2.5 months out on the FHS pontoon boat, so I'm looking forward to it. So number one rod is going to be that downrigger rod. I'm going to use that for some downrigger fishing and some top lining. Number two rod is one of my lead core rods. In fact, this is my first prototype. This rod's been around forever. It's caught thousands of trout, including a trout that weighed 12 pounds. And look how nice that cleaned up. It looks, very nice, very serviceable. I checked the top shot. This has a 20-foot, 20-pound fluorocarbon top shot coming down to one of my standard trolling setups. I got a bead on the line right there so I can see where everything is, and a trolling swivel. I'll put a leader on when I get to the lake. Looking forward to doing some spoon trolling this week. I have threaded more than my share of worms over the past couple months. I will have some night crawlers and some gulp worms in the kayak, but hopefully I'm gonna get my fish power trolling with various types of spoons, and I just find that kind of action really fun. I might mix in some flies, might mix in a mag lip here and there, but I'm really looking forward to getting a spoon bite going. So that's rod number two. Hybrid lead core rig on my very first prototype yellow lead core rod, which is still going strong. And that's a point I made earlier. I am not a gear nerd. I rely on rugged, dependable tackle. I do standard maintenance on it, and I depend on it to perform out on the water. I make sure the line is serviceable and fresh. I pay attention to details, and that's what rod maintenance is all about. You need to ask yourself this question when you're getting ready to go fishing. Is every rod that I'm taking on the trip ready to land the trout or the fish of a lifetime? If the answer is yes, you got nothing to worry about. If the answer is no, you got to make whatever modifications you need to make, whether it's changing out a drag, changing out a reel, or just putting on fresh line, whatever it is. The answer to that question has to be yes. Don't set yourself up for failure, set yourself up for success. Every one of these rods I worked on here today, I would put a 10-pound trout at the end of the line, and I would expect to land that fish. I would put a 20-pound striper on any of these rods and expect to land that fish. The drags are working properly. The line is in good shape. In some cases, it's brand new line. The rods are just dialed in. They've been used, they've been abused, they've been kicked around, but they are ready to do battle. They are in perfect working order, and that's always the goal you should have when you're heading out fishing. I don't care if you're going for rainbow trout at Rollins Lake or, tuna off the coast of San Diego. Pay attention to detail and make sure your gear is always up to the task at hand. So number one rod is going to be my downrigger rod. Number two rod is this tried and true hybrid lead core rig right here. Number three rod is already in my truck. It is one of my ultralight spinning rods. I've got that spooled up with 10-pound braid, and I have a 10-pound fluorocarbon top shot on that. And the final rod, this one's probably not going to be used, it's probably going to stay in a rod holder, but this is my backup lead core rod. It is one of my lead core sticks, a newer one. It has an Okuma cold water on top of it, and it has the 3 colors of lead core, standard hybrid rig. And I'm carrying this rod in case I have a mishap with my other lead core rod, like, maybe I'll drop it overboard or something like that. Barring any drama, this one should stay in the rod holder. It's rigged up the same way, no leader yet, but it has a bead on it, has a trolling swivel on it right there. And that's another good tip. Whenever you go fishing, you don't need to go crazy and take 10 rods with you. You might want to take 10 rods with you, but it's always a good idea to have a backup rod or two, because you never know what's going to happen. You might step on a rod, you might knock it over and drive over it with your truck. You might just drop it overboard, or you might just get a big tangle. Maybe you backlash it and you don't want to spend a half an hour out on the water fixing it when you could easily fix it at home. So it's always nice to have another rod that you can reach to, grab, slap a leader on it. The rod's ready to go, it's serviceable, it's dialed in, and you can get right back to fishing. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. I am super excited about fishing this week. I will share all of it with you guys here on the channel. And remember, if you're looking for gear, rods, reels, trigger spoons, flies, grubs, whatever you see me fishing here on the channel, check it out at my store on fishhuntshoot.com. I'm Kel Kellogg. I want to thank you guys for all the support, and if you like this kind of content, and I'm always on here talking about fishing and UFOs and who knows what, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you'll always know when I'm on YouTube talking fishing or whatever. Anyway, I'm out of here for now. You guys stay safe, and I'll see you out on the water.